All right, hello everyone. My name is Kyle Martinez. I am a dietetic intern with Morrison Healthcare, and I'm doing this presentation with my preceptor, Avalon, here at Three Crowns Park. Today we're going to be talking about plants in unexpected places. Basically, just talking about the health benefits of vegetables and different shopping tips and ways to incorporate that into our daily eating. And we have some recipes at the end that we can share for you and also discuss as well. So what are some of the health benefits of vegetables? It reduces our risk for chronic diseases. It's a good source of vitamins and minerals. They're high in potassium, which can help regulate our blood pressure. And they do contain a good amount of fiber as well, which is important for a healthy gut and bowel movements. Some of the chronic diseases that, eating vegetables, can help reduce the risk of include heart disease, high blood pressure. It can help maintain, your blood sugar if you're diabetic. It can also lower your cholesterol as well. A lot of the vegetables, they're high in fiber, they're high in vitamin A and vitamin C. Vitamin A can help, helps keep your eyes and skin healthy. Vitamin C is good for, your dental health, your gums. And it also helps, helps absorb other minerals like iron as well. I did have down here that, eating vegetables can also promote weight loss. When we talk about vegetables, we categorize them as like a nutrient dense food item, meaning that they don't have a lot of calories, but they do pack a lot of, vital and important nutrients. And so by eating vegetables, it can help keep you, feeling full, which will also help you, not eat as much. So if you are, looking to lose weight, incorporating vegetables into your daily eating habits can definitely assist with that. As part of the overall healthy diet, again, like we're talking about, they're lower in calories compared to a lot of other foods. And again, they do help protect against certain types of cancers and, the other health benefits that we discussed as well. You can see on the slide here as well, it does kind of list some of the different vegetables and, some of the different functions they can have, just for example, something like kale, it has more calcium than a glass of milk, which, a lot of people don't really take into consideration of, all the vitamins and minerals that vegetables do have. And we'll move on to the next slide here. So how much vegetables do you need per day? Obviously this is going to vary by, your gender as well as your age. Generally we're looking in between 1 to 3 cups per day. For the purposes of this presentation, kind of dealing with like older populations. So we're looking around 2 cups for women over the age of 51, and then 2.5 cups for men over the age of 51 there. This also, it varies on, your physical activity level as well. If you're very active, you'll need more calories and things like that. But this is just a good start. It's really hard to eat too many vegetables. So this is kind of like, the minimum standard that we like for people to have. This is where you can see, the most health benefits with these servings. And, in general, its serving size is either one cup of cooked vegetables or 2 cups of raw vegetables there. And we'll get into a next slide. We'll have a little more breakdown of that. So as you can see on the chart here, it's just broken down. We're just focusing on like dark leafy greens here. But basically it has, the amount that would actually account for 1 cup of vegetable serving there. So, if, for example, if anything like a spinach or, you have your romaine lettuce or endive or like a leafy green lettuce, 1 cup of vegetable is actually going to be 2 cups raw. Excuse me. And that's just due to, kind of the surface area of the vegetable and everything like that. So, if you're doing raw vegetables, you're going to need 2 cups in order to get 1 serving. And if you decide to cook the vegetables, for example, 1 cup of cooked spinach is equivalent to 1 serving size for vegetables versus 2 cups raw there. And for the greens, your collards, your mustards, kale, things like that we generally cook. That's just going to be 1 cup equals 1 serving size for that. And then you can see with broccoli how it can be prepared different ways. And so they have the measurements for that as well. Okay, moving on, going into beans, peas, and lentils. So these are part of the legume vegetable class here. These are often referred to as pulses. Basically, it's just meaning that, the pulse is what you're eating inside, like the pod of the plant there. So these can be sold, dried, canned, frozen. They're located throughout the grocery store in various aisles. They are considered a vegetable, but they also pack a lot of protein. And they also are a good source of fiber and also nutrients like folate and potassium. There's so many different varieties. You have your red and green lentils, beans, you have pinto, kidney, chickpeas, there's split peas, black, red. So there's a lot of variety, and each one kind of could be higher in a certain nutrient than the other, but generally these are all going to be really healthy vegetables, a lot of fiber and a lot of nutrients with that. And again, they also offer a lot of protein. So, this is a good option if you're a vegetarian or you're a vegan, a good way to get your vegetables and your protein in 1 serving. And even if you're not, vegetarian or you do eat meat, this is something that you should also add as well here too. Just because again, it has a ton of healthy benefits for you. So it shouldn't be just strictly limited to people that don't eat meat or anything like that. You should always try to include these as part of your daily eating habits there. Excuse me. And these can be prepared in various different ways. You can put them as like a soup, just as a side. There's so many different ways and varieties of dishes that you can make there. So the options are kind of endless with these. We always encourage that you try to experiment and maybe try to work with the food that you're not familiar with, because you never know. You could end up really liking something and that you'll continue to make for the rest of your life. So a lot of different choices and varieties with these. And as far as, substitutions with vegetables, as we're starting to become more health conscious in today's world, there are a lot of products now that are being offered as alternatives, to your typical dishes, like, with pasta or rice or things like that. So we have like, cauliflower rice now. As you can see, they have the veggie spirals, kind of like a zoodle almost, a zucchini noodle. And also, if you're looking for something more of a sweet, like a sweet tooth, there's the dark chocolate hummus as well. These are going to be good alternatives to your traditional products that you typically consume. I've actually tried, the rice veggies here that's in the picture from the Green Giant. It's really good. It's super easy to make too. You just throw it in the microwave. So in the event that maybe you don't have, prepared vegetables or anything at home, this is something that you can just buy, take out of the freezer, put it in the microwave for a couple minutes, and then you'll have your vegetable servings right there. It's really quick and painless. And if you're very busy in the day and short on time, this is something that's really easy to incorporate. For example, for myself, I like to make like spaghetti squash. And that's something I find that's really easy to do as well. You just, basically throw it in the oven for like 30 to 40 minutes and just scrape and peel. And voila, you have, a good healthy amount of vegetables that you can reuse too, because it's a big amount. So, look for these products. These are going to be in the frozen section. And you'll see there's a bunch of different ones. There's also like vegetable tater tots and things like that too. So manufacturers are being pretty creative on some of the options that they have. So it's just more about trying to, again, try new foods and see what you like and see what you don't. But definitely recommend these for, a busy day. And we just have some shopping tips for you. I think, before we start on this list, I think the biggest thing about this is just to make sure that you have vegetables at your house. You're never going to be able to eat a vegetable if they're not available and if they're not, in your fridge or wherever. So going out and having a plan prior to grocery shopping, making sure to, include, putting vegetables on your list so that way they're available for when you get home. Some easy ways to include more vegetables. You can just buy chopped spinach, mix it into soups, stews or casseroles. Again, you can substitute rice with the cauliflower rice. You can use the zoodle or the spaghetti squash instead of traditional pasta. The chocolate hummus that we just talked about, you can use that. If you do have a sweet tooth, you can use that, pair that with fruit. Adding chopped sweet potatoes to your macaroni and cheese, which we actually have a recipe for. And then, there's also options now where, they have a cauliflower crust versus just a regular, traditional pizza crust there, which you can either buy frozen at the grocery store, or if you're, feeling extra special, you can also make that at home, which I have done before. And it's actually a pretty fun process, and, kind of proud of the work that you do at the end too, if you end up doing it right. And there's those vegetable tater tots that we also touched on there too. So again, a lot of different options. I have some others written down here as well. So, an easy way to get more vegetables is kind of including it with the sauce. Some things that I like to do personally is, you can make a mango salsa and pair that with like a fish that you're making. Or, I like to make pico de gallo too, and just kind of include that on a lot of things, burritos, or, even my eggs in the morning, things like that. Which also, trying to start off and getting vegetables in the morning can be a tough task as well. But I find that, by incorporating vegetables earlier into my day, it kind of helps me get one of those servings out of the way. And B, kind of entices me to start the day off healthy, and it makes me want to commit to that for the remainder of the day. So just by including vegetables in like an omelet or something like that, you can always add those into a smoothie as well. I like to add like kale or spinach into just a smoothie in the morning. That's something really easy and simple to do. Stuffed bell peppers would be another option as well. You can kind of fill that with any kind of filling you want, but you're going to end up eating at least one whole vegetable, which would be considered a serving as well. And then just, choosing things like, maybe a lettuce wrap instead of a tortilla or something like that. That's another easy substitute that we can do there. And just for overall tip for shopping too, is one thing that we like to recommend is, again, trying to branch out and finding something that you don't possibly, eat or cook with all the time. So, by checking like the local section of your produce at the grocery store, you can find some maybe items that you haven't, you don't really eat that much or you don't really cook that much, and trying to incorporate it into a main dish. And that's something that, I like to do as well. It kind of gets the creative juices going. It makes, going into the kitchen a lot more fun because you're preparing an item that you haven't before, and kind of just hones your cooking skills as well too. So that's something that I like. And in addition to that, to just talking overall the appearance of the plate and, how much you should be getting. What I like to do and what we like to recommend is that roughly 50% of your plate should be full of vegetables, with 25% grain and 25% of whatever meat product that you're having. So really just being aware of that and kind of filling your plate more with those vegetables, that's going to help increase your consumption, obviously, but also, again, like we were talking about, it'll help you feel more full. You won't be as hungry throughout the day, and you'll have more sustained energy levels by doing that. And I think these next couple of ones, it's just some recipes that we have. So here it's sweet potato, macaroni, and cheese. The directions are here. If this will be available after the presentation as well, so you can take this down. And then also, I think we have zucchini brownies, or black bean brownies, excuse me. So again, it's kind of about being creative and finding areas where you can incorporate, vegetables into, your daily eating. And it's just all about experimenting and finding things that you like. I think one thing that I wanted to touch on is that a lot of people ask me, what vegetables should I be eating? Certain kinds or anything. And, I don't really say you have to eat this vegetable or you have to eat that. It's just more about finding the vegetables that you do like and making sure to use them, every day. The beauty of vegetables is that they can be prepared in so many different ways.